eliminated. It is not able to play for the rest of this match. Ellen Page still able to use the Shaman if that's what they want to go with. The Aggro Shaman is just like super strong on ladder right now. I think it was rated as even a tier 1 deck, so it's just really strong to get all those aggressive plays and just force your opponent to have the answer. That was the strength of like Face Hunter. If you remember the glory days of Face Hunter, it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, kind of fallen out of favor just a tad, but it can still be really strong. So here in Game 3, we're going to see a Druid mirror match. See if they're both kind of the mid-range Druid. It appears that they are based off their hands. Ellen Page deciding if they want to keep the... they have Wild Growth or they have Innervate Shade. So they're on the coin. So they can decide to innervate out that Shade on turn 1 or coin out the Wild Growth. Looks like they're going to coin out the Wild Growth so that they can go straight into the Shade next turn anyway. Seems like it's a pretty good play. Save that innervate for something later, like maybe get out an early 7 drop is usually the goal behind that. Whiskey Badger drawing into the double innervate is going to be able to put out the Emperor Thorzen. That's going to be really annoying for Ellen Page to answer. They do have an innervate of their own, so we'll see if they can pick up something to deal with that. Otherwise, that could stick around for several turns and discount a lot of cards. Innervate, not much helpful here. He could go for the Innervate Lotheb now if he wants to, so that he sets up his board to kill the Emperor next turn. So that could be the argument for that play. It looks like that's where he's headed. Not so much for the Battlecry effect, but just like I said, he doesn't want that Emperor to get too many procs, and if he just plays it slow and plays the Shade, he may not be able to kill that for a couple of turns. He did have the option to play the Shade, and then next turn he would have Savage Combatant Innervate Hero Power, and he could have run the Shade in and use the Hero Power to kill off the Emperor Thorzen, but he went with this line of play instead. So he was still able to put down the Savage Combatant now, which will contest the Sludge Belcher really nicely, especially with the Hero Power being able to kill off the slime that's going to come out of the Sludge Belcher. So that's really huge from him, and able to set up the Shade of Naxxramas as well. So really strong play for Ellen Page. They are able to take a pretty dominant position on the board. The Savage Combatant does die to just the Hero Power for Whiskey Badger if he wants to take 5 more damage. Looks like he's just going to keeper that off. Seems to make a lot of sense. Fight for the board control. That's one of the huge strong points in Druid. If they fall behind on board, it can be really difficult for them to get it back. So Ellen Page has a couple decisions. Swipe seems kind of tempting to clear off that, but they're going to go with the Shade and Hero Power as well, and we'll see which minions they want to go for. It doesn't prevent this Ancient of War from coming out, even if they were to kill the Darnassus Aspirant, so that's kind of the argument for not killing it. There's not a whole lot of difference between 7 mana and 8 mana for Druid. They usually just want to play that 7 drop anyway, so preventing the ramp from the Aspirant didn't seem too big of a deal on that turn. And now Ellen Page has lots of removal in hand. They can use the Swipe and the Wrath if they want to. That'll clear up a couple of minions just on its own. So we'll go with that. Just clear off the 1. So that's the path they chose to take. Just clear off the 1 minion and then use the Shades to clean up the board very nicely and take that dominant board position. Ancient of War is going to be quite the wall to get through. We're just going to see if Ellen Page can pick up some sort of silence, like a Keeper of the Grove of their own. That would be pretty nice to find here. Oh, and there's the Keeper of the Grove off the top. We'll see how they want to clear this. Silence, obviously the best option here, as opposed to 2 damage. It essentially does 5 damage and removes the taunt. doesn't want to trade in here with the Shade. It will, so that will allow Whiskey Badger to take the value trade on the Keeper of the Grove if he wants it. But Whiskey Badger picking up another Ancient of War. Let's see, if Ellen Page has combo here, would that have been enough without the Ancient of War coming down? That might have been the reason why Ellen Page decided to go face with that damage. I didn't quite do the math, but I'm sure somebody will figure it out. So now Ellen Page has the same option they had last turn with that swipe and the Savage Roar. Picking up the Wild Growth, not a whole lot of health or help. You can swipe and clear one of these minions depending on how you want to order this. But the way I see it, you can only kill one here. Well, actually, you can kill two if you really want to. You could swipe the right Ancient of War there. That will bring the left one down to 9. And then you can Savage Roar to finish it off if you really want to. It's a lot of resources, though, to clear off this board. So they're going to start with the Savage Roar, which by itself is enough to kill off that left Ancient of War, but it leaves you with a with an empty board here for the most part. But they felt the pressure coming forward. They're going to sequence them this way. It didn't really matter which order they kill them in. They were going to take 5 damage regardless. We just have the hero power to restore 1 health. So this Sylvanas, though,
I have no time for
was a pretty good pickup for Whiskey Badger. Able to slam that down here in the late game when both players are kind of fizzling out, not able to pick up those card draw. Usually the card draw ran in here is Ancient of Lore and the Azure Drakes. But I haven't seen any of those from either player. So pick up the Dr. Boom here. That was really huge off the Wild Growth, which since they were already at 10 mana, allowed them to draw a card. Still had plenty of mana to draw the Dr. Boom.
Where shall I strike?
So we'll see how Ellen Page wants to sequence this. He can trade in to the Dr. Boom and steal one of the minions if they want to. Oh, but with the charge, that's actually going to be enough damage. So yeah, never mind. With the charge there and the Savage Roar. Yeah, I was not doing the math completely. Thinking of the alternate options there. It was a really good play from Whiskey Badger. They saw the lethal and they took it. So with that, Whiskey Badger will go up 2-1 on Ellen Page. And Whiskey Badger's Druid is locked out. We shall see if Ellen Page decides to stick with the Druid, or they can definitely switch to one of their other to their other class. They've already won with Paladin, so they'd have to go with the